Thank you for spending Saturday evening with us. We really have friends today from different places. Some of you call Talent Beacon your spiritual home, your community that you grow with. For some of you, you have walked with us through difficult times, through on Thursday evenings. You know, we have a team that will go down to Bukit Batok and we have friends and we have made friends. So you wonder, I've always been asked, actually, I'll start with a story. Many years ago, when I had a lot more black hair, okay, uh, I took a boy out for his birthday party. He was 12 years old. And we had dinner. We went to Swenson's. Swenson's was a big surprise for him, and he liked it there. So he asked me, Uncle, you come to that time we came to their block every Wednesday. So he asked me, you come to Bukit Batok on Wednesday, then Thursday where you go? I looked at him, what do you mean by Thursday where I go? Is it you go to Bedok, you go to other place and all that? I says, no, I just come on Wednesday. Then he asked me, why is it you come to Bukit Batok and befriend the residents? I said, I just wanted to let you know that I know somebody who loves me a lot, and I wanted people to experience his love. So that's how we went to Bukit Batok. And then I told him, oh, I'm a Christian. Then he said, you are Christian? I thought Christian is only Mat Saleh that is Christian. How come Chinese also can be Christian? Yeah, all right. So we had this conversation, and I told him maybe one day you would see how we worship and how we talk to our God and why we know that He loves us so much. So today, thank you for giving us this time to come and experience what it's like when we come together to worship God. So I have actually a very simple message today. Okay, I decided to ask the kids to go to a kids' room. They are studying how the world was created, right? And the fun times having games. On our side, we're not studying how the world is created, but I'm telling you this story of how Talent Beacon got its name. If you search Talent Beacon, actually the first hit that you get when we first started the church is not a church or a youth center. In fact, when you search Talent Beacon, you will see a recruitment agency. Yeah. So when we first had this name called Talent Beacon, people were asking, are you recruiting dancers? Are you recruiting performance artists and all that? That's not who we are, right? So how do we get our name? This is what I want to share with you about. So firstly, where did we get this name? The next slide, you see this picture. Anybody knows where this is? It's East Coast at Amber Beacon. Okay. Don't Google Amber Beacon. If you Google Amber Beacon, you will be linked to a ghost story. Yeah. Right. So don't need to Google that, right? Amber, Brian, the slide orientation, yeah. Amber Beacon is near the old Big Splash. I don't know whether any of you are of my vintage. I used to go Big Splash to swim. All right, so have you been there, Jace? Have you been there? Okay. Haven't go. Now cannot go already because there's no more Big Splash already, all right? It's been taken down already. No more Big Splash. Yep. Okay, and this is where we found our inspiration. How was it because I was cycling, so we got there? Actually, not quite. We went there to baptize a friend, actually. In the next slide, this was Leo, and it happened on 16 April 2017. Um, where is my math teacher, Alicia? Where's my great math teacher? Math. Okay. So if we are 9 years old, Alicia, when did we start meeting? Alicia is an English teacher, not a math teacher. So whenever we have math problems, we always approach Alicia because this allows us to laugh at ourselves. Right. Okay. Yeah. So relax. All right. Yeah. If we are in 2026 today, when it was our first meeting? Yeah. I like that music that breaks the tension. That helps. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Guys, you need to go for math tuition with Lisha. It goes on Monday nights, all right, at Tava. Okay, we first started meeting in 2017, but in July. So actually in April 2017, we haven't started meeting yet. We didn't have a church. But there was a resident at Bukit Batok. Some of you may recognize him, and he wanted to get baptized. So we ended up joining another church, Bedok Frankel Estate Church, BFEC, right? And they were brethren church, and they allowed us to baptize together with them. And they gave me this very nice robe. Yeah, made me feel like a Jedi. Yeah, coming up. Yeah, right. And that was the first time I baptized somebody, and we started it at um, Amber Beacon. Okay. Uh, Next one, Brian. Then is Felicia online? No. So Felicia wanted to get baptized, and then we baptized her at Christmas 2017. This was also at Amber Beacon. She was giving her testimony over there. And we had, this was really the size of our church at that time, or maybe just a few more people. Okay, and the next photo, Brian's baptism on March 2018. Brian looks very buff, right? Doesn't Brian look really buff? Okay, okay, okay. Yeah. So this Amber Beacon became a place where we started our baptisms. We no longer do baptisms at Amber Beacon. Okay, let me tell you a secret also, okay? If you like to swim, don't swim near here. During low tide, it's really muddy. When I baptized Brian, I remember I had to step into the mud. It was really hard to hold on. And Brian's not the smallest guy. When you dunk him, you've got to make sure you come up together, right? Yeah. Okay. So high tide is okay to swim. Low tide, this is not a good area to swim. Nowadays, we do baptisms over here. There's a swimming pool, and it's more comfortable on the whole, right? But this was our history. Next, then this is baptism, a new life. Felicia was so happy. And today we know that she joins us with Aaron and with Tony from Manchester. And they've also, Tony was baptized at our last church camp, right? Yeah, this is Joy. That's Jasmine going into the water with me, right? Then next one. So as part of it, we discovered that the gentleman on this side, on the left side, was also a busker, and he sings and plays the guitar very well. Nobody really wants to listen to him except for his father. So we have to put him to East Coast to sing. All right, and he discovered his talents there. And then there was another man on the right who is an excellent preacher and speaker, but again, nobody wants to listen to him except for his wife. So, all right, so at the beach, we discovered these talents, right? So we preached and we had meetings at the beach. This was where it started for us. So Amber Beacon was a place that was called Amber Beacon, right? And then that's where we discovered talents. So then if you put the two words together, you get Talent Beacon. And that's how Talent Beacon very much got its name, right? But we didn't just want to say that. When we first coined the name Talent Beacon, I did think it wasn't a very church name. Churches are usually named with more, not going to, they're usually named not Talent Beacon, lah, okay? You get it, lah, okay? Yeah, I don't know how to describe it, okay? They've got either the denomination, lah, they've got a person of the Trinity, or they describe something, lah. We are like, wow. And at that time, pastor never go to school also. Pastor never go to Bible school yet. So not so well versed with the Bible. Don't know too many chim Bible names, right? Now, graduated already, I got more alphabets behind my names, okay? So just a pause here. I am really, really glad to be able to share a little bit more with you about who we are and what we believe. I won't take too long, but I just want to be able for you to take home something with you, right? Before we go on, just give me a minute to. Never mind, let's just go. All right, come. Next slide. So we looked at the biblical inspiration, and it had talent actually is a word found in the Bible, but talent is actually related to gold. Yeah. I didn't choose any particular currency. I think this one looks more like chocolate coins, lah. Okay, yeah. But this really is the biblical inspiration. Can I get some help? Flynn, will you help me to read the Bible story? Is that okay? Okay.
Ag- Again, it will be like a man going on a journey who called his servants and entrusted his wealth to them. To one he gave 5 bags of gold, to another 2 bags, and to another 1 bag, each according to his ability. Then he went on his journey. The man who had received 5 bags of gold went at once and put his money to work and gained 5 bags more. So also the one with 2 bags of gold gained 2 more. But the man who received 1 bag went off, dug a hole in the ground, and hid his master's money. After a long time, the master of those servants returned and settled accounts with them. The man who had received 5 bags of gold brought the other 5. Master, he said, you entrusted me with 5 bags of gold. See, I have gained 5 more. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness. The man with 2 bags of gold also came. Master, he said, you entrusted me with 2 bags of gold. See, I have gained 2 more. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness. Then the man who had received 1 bag of gold came. Master, he said, I knew that you are a hard man, harvesting where you have not sown and gathering where you have not scattered seeds. So I was afraid and went out and hid your gold in the ground. See, here is what belongs to you. His master said, you wicked, lazy servant. So you knew that I harvest where I have not sown and gather where I have not scattered seeds. Well, then, you should have put my money in a deposit with the bankers so that when I return, I would have received it back with some interest. So take the bag of gold from him and give it to the one who has 10 bags. For whoever has will be given more, and they will have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. And throw that worthless servant outside into the darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Thanks, Flynn. So, simple story. There was a master who was going on a journey. The master called his servants together, and this story highlights the conversations between the master and 3 of his servants. To the first servant, he gave 5 bags of gold. The second servant, he gave 3 bags. Is it 2 bags or 3 bags? Two. Okay, you guys are paying attention, right? 2 bags of gold. And to the last servant, he gave 1 bag of gold. A long time passed, all right? And the master came back and he asked for an account of what the servants had been doing. The first servant was pleased to tell the master, yes, look, you've given me 5 bags of gold. I've got 5 more. I've been successful. The second one was able to tell the master, you gave me 2 bags of gold. I've got 2 more, right? And the last one says, but master, you are a hard man. I was afraid to lose your money. You sow where you don't reap. So I just dug a hole and kept your gold over there. Now, this is it. I return it to you. And the master was very upset with the last one, right? So for many of us, I think we've read this parable many times, and we've learned some principles. Possibly one of them is called use it or lose it, right? It's a rugby law, right? When you play this sport, if you bring a ball into contact and you can't recycle the ball, you lose it. It's called use it or lose it. And in so much of our life, we have this concept, use it or lose it. And that's a good takeaway, right? Perhaps another takeaway that we have, Brian, next one, right? Uh, is that everyone has at least one talent. Yeah. Today we experience over dinner we experience Nikma's cooking, right? Is it the lontong that you had? Yeah, my lontong was extra special because I am extra special to Nikma. All right. To Nikma, I'm like the first servant. Okay. So mine was special. She cooked it. She put there was quail's eggs. There was the chili sauce with the ikan bilis on top, the sambal and ikan bilis on top. And that's her talent that God has given her. Then my favorite, epok epok. How many of you had the curry puff and the epok epok? Any of you got the rendang? Rendang is special flavor. Rendang is not Every day you get rendang on, okay? Where's auntie that makes epok epok? Okay, we've been friends for so long. When I go to Bukit Batok, that's what I look forward to eat. If you want to order epok epok from her, look for me. There is a markup because I don't earn money as a pastor. I have to find other ways to make a living. All right? Yeah. Okay. PDPA, I cannot give you her phone number, okay? But you come to me. Brian can help you order as well. Okay. Yeah. Um, and there's so many of you who. And then, do you try the brani? Not the rice brani, but the bihun chicken rice. Do you try that? Yeah. Then, for some of you, some of us learn our talents from our parents. Like our sister Alison stole her mother's secret recipe and made ngoyang for us today. Or is it your mother cook one or you cook one? Oh, sorry, she cooked one. She stole the recipe and she cooked it, right? Yeah. Um, and really, I thank all of you who brought something that is actually helping me do a sermon illustration. We all have a talent, and we can use that talent to bless each other. And we have so much joy in that, right? The next one, right? Put your talent to good use. You've heard this message, probably if you come to church, you've heard this message dozens of times. Usually, when your pastor would preach this message, at the end of it, he would ask you to volunteer to serve in different ministries. Correct? Right? Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Okay, never mind. Yeah. Usually at the end, there will be a form that goes out. They will ask you to serve in children's ministry, serve as an usher, healing ministry, or whatever ministry there is in the church. Actually, rest assured, today I'm not asking you to serve in any ministry, all right? But just want you to pay attention to what I'm sharing. Um, Using everybody has one talent. Put your talents to good use it or lose it is what we call a base level understanding. All right. We are more advanced. We atas sikit already. All right. We can learn a little bit more about this passage. Next, let's look at the first part again. Again, it will be like a man going on a journey who called his servants and entrusted his wealth to them. To one, he gave 5 bags of gold, to another, 2 bags, and to another, 1 bag, each according to his ability. Then he went on his journey. When I read this passage, actually, I felt a little bit, how do you say, like unfair. Let me tell you about unfair. My brother is 12 years younger than me, okay? So on my brother's prom night, before his prom night, I found out that he had a Gucci belt. His prom night, and he was 18 years old attending prom, a JC prom night. I don't know how much a Gucci belt costs because I've never stepped into a Gucci shop before, okay? And then I asked him, where did you get the Gucci belt? Mom bought for me, no? My mother is not here, so I can say freely. She's online. Oh gosh. No, but you should tell my mother why she didn't buy me the Gucci belt. This is not cutting it. She bought him a Gucci belt. She didn't buy me a Gucci belt. I think she never even Gucci me when I was young also to hug me. Never done that before. Yeah. Don't you feel there's, I mean, in the next slide, do they feel there's something wrong with this story? One guy 5, one guy 2, one guy 1. Yeah, so if on another Saturday where we would be in different homes, this is a point that we would pause in our home fellowships and then we have a discussion, okay? But for in the interest of time, I won't do that. You can discuss with yourself, fair or not fair, okay? I don't think it's an issue of fair or not fair, but truly it's a reflection of life. All of us start at different points. We have different starting points. Okay. Have you been watching the World Cup? Yeah. If you're asking me which World Cup, okay, then okay, never mind. All right. Yeah. Uh, I've been watching the World Cup. Today, sorry, Jace, do you watch the World Cup? Japan. Yeah, I love Japan. Sad that they went home. But you know what they did before they went home? They picked up all the rubbish in the stadium before they went home. Okay. Okay. Right. Uh, that's not a joke. That's true. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I never. Okay, this okay. Let's just stick to the point. I always knew that there was Lionel Messi, but when I watch today Argentina versus Capo Verde, is it called Cape Verde or Capo Verde? Cape Verde, Cape Verde. I realized that the whole stadium was also Messi because everybody in the Argentina shirt had a number 10 and Messi, and they weren't playing. They were all in the stands. They were wearing that. So I don't know who will the real Messi please stand up. Yeah. Yeah. So thankfully he scored. Everybody wants to be Messi if you play football, except Mark used to, where's Mark? Mark, my friend, my football friend, my football kaki. Yeah. Yeah. We never wanted to be Messi. We wanted to be the enforcers, the central defensive midfielder in the field, two-footed tackles and all that. That was what we looked for, right? But not everybody is going to be Messi in their lives. Nobody is going to be whoever the richest man in the world is, who's going to launch himself to space pretty soon, right? Uh, not all of us at the starting point, and we can be upset, right? Next. And we can choose to be envious, angry, or we can find reasons to be thankful. Now, we don't find reasons to be thankful because we look at other people and then, okay, let's do this, right? I mean, this is like bullying the kid. You stand up, play. This like bullying, right? This is my son, okay? So I stand next to him and I look at him. You're so short, so tall. Right? That's not called for, right? I don't find joy in that, right? That's not the way it is. Anyway, he's growing taller than me. This guy's already taller. Then then when I look at him, I look at this one, then I like, then he laughs at whereas like he is 184.5 meters, single. You don't like this one? I've got another two. Yeah, I got another three here. All right. Okay. How do you find happiness in life if all you do is just compare with each other? The Chinese have a saying called 人比人. Wow, you're better than me. Okay. Yeah. Later I will read the passage in Chinese to prove my Chinese is better. Okay. Yeah. You can choose to be grateful for what we have, or we can choose to be envious. And the sin of envy actually was the first sin that humankind had against each other. If you remember Cain and Abel, there were these two brothers. One brother was very upset with the other brother because the God appreciated the offerings of one brother more than the other, right? The younger of Cain more than he did for of Abel's more than he did for Cain, and it upset Cain to the extent that the envy got into Cain's heart and he killed his brother. So the very first sin that was between humankind was actually envy. And we don't want that, okay? Rather, I would ask you to find one reason, okay, to suggest one reason that we can be grateful with what we have, which is really our talents come from God. All our talents come from God. In this story, everything which the servants had, it all came from God. Everything that we have comes from God, and we should be grateful for that. You know, I turned 50 this year. I've been on, okay, maybe for those of you who turned 50 for a while already, it's not so. I've been told this year I will celebrate Hawaii 5-0. Yeah, it don't feel like Hawaii to me. I don't feel like Mark Jarrett in Hawaii 5-0. When I wake up in the morning, my back hurts. Yeah, when I went on mission trip, I had a problem with the hotel room bed, a bit too soft, right? All laugh will happen to you. Yeah. Yeah. Uh, but I am grateful that I could still stand. I'm grateful that I could still do the things that God had given me to do. I'm grateful that I've got a good, really excellent spiritual son, spiritual children sitting around here. The only thing I was upset with Brian when he was sharing a Pontianak was I used to be described as Joshua, as a young man that would lead the people into the promised land. Now he said I was Moses. So he's not slaughtered for preaching duties in a while. Okay. No, just joking. Yeah. So I'm grateful for what I have. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful my family is a gift from God. I'm grateful for the community. I'm grateful for friends who will cook for me, even though I say rude things to them and they still laugh at me. All right. Uh, there's so many things to be grateful for. Yeah, I'm grateful that I did High Rocks this year. All right, finished it. Some of you younger people haven't done it and still make noise. Okay, yeah, I've done it. Right. There are just so many things to be grateful for. Okay, that's a good starting point. Right. Next. Yeah, envy is not the correct response. Let's just go on. Yeah, choose to be grateful, not gripe. I, I'm so glad now when I take Grab, I can hit this function called as the silent ride. In the past, when I used to take taxi, okay, I hope there are no taxi drivers here. Okay, not all taxi drivers are there. But some taxi driver uncle will just complain the whole ride. Singaporean number one hobby is complain, complain, complain. Go restaurant also. Where's your manager? I want to see your manager. I want to complain. Why your chili sauce not hot enough? Yeah, your chili sauce not good enough. Fine. Uncle Mok. Uncle Mok makes the best chili sauce. All right, you can tapao some back. Yeah, stop complaining. Let's be grateful. That's the first thing that we learn. Can be grateful. Next. Yeah. The other thing, all right, that we, Brian, what slide number is this? 19, right? The other thing that I want to share with you, you see, the man who had received 5 bags of gold went at once and put his money to good work and gained 5 bags more. So also, and they did all this, but verse 19, it says, after a long time. The master took a long time. The master didn't say, I'm gone for 2 months and I'll come back after 2 months. He was actually gone for a long time. Next. Yeah. After a very long time, the master returned. I use a running app. Okay, this running app keeps me very excited. Whenever I go on a run, it says, congratulations, you've done the most difficult thing. You took the first step today in the run. Yeah. Actually, the first step in the run is not the most difficult step because it's actually quite easy to just click start and then you just go on that journey. It's not difficult to be grateful for what we have and then we start on this journey. But it is difficult to stay on the journey and finish the journey. Yeah, I've got marathon runners here, right? Nate, you finished one or okay, almost there to finishing one, right? Nate's going for Ironman soon. Okay, yeah. I'm not prophetic. He actually told me he wants to do it. Okay, yeah, yeah. So, um, it's you've got to finish the race, and starting the race, right, doesn't give us a finisher's T-shirt. Do you ever see people with those blue tank tops? They used to call it the Standard Chartered Marathon, but now that the Chinese have come, it's called the BYD Marathon already. Yeah, the BYD Singapore Marathon. No kidding, it's advertised that way, right? Yeah, so you don't get the finisher's T-shirt unless you finish the race. If you took the first step, well and good, but it doesn't count. Uh, it's going to be a long time before God comes again. What are we going to do with our talents? Next, friend. Yeah. Life is not a sprint. Yeah. Life is really not about how fast you can run over 100 meters. Yeah. Life is a journey. And just like we don't know when the master will come back, neither do we know when this race is going to end. No one knows that. No one has determined the day you were born. No one determines the day that we will go. That is all held within God's hands. So we've got to go on in this journey. And I want to share with you, I think the way to go on is really to have grit. Yeah. You've got to have the power of passion and perseverance. There are many, I'll just say this about young people, okay? Young people are described very often as the strawberry generation. They say they are easily bruised, that they've got no determination. I would like to tell the young people in the room, I firmly disagree with that statement. I've seen our young people and the young people that I've worked with show a whole lot of perseverance. There are times when things are tough, they've put their head down and they've just continued going, even when they don't see fruit. I believe these are traits that they have learned from their parents, their aunties, their uncles on this journey. And I want to encourage the young people, don't let people put you down and say that you're soft, you're not good enough. Your world that you grow in is a tough world. It's a tough one. Now, even when you want to, okay, I'm even so confused when you want to buy a property nowadays. If you want to buy a HDB, I think there are like now different classes of HDB. Your MOP is different, your subsidy is different. Looking at it and trying to advise somebody on it, also my head also kepala pusing also, right? Yeah. Um, it's a tough world to grow up in. Yeah. But you guys are doing well. You've got the determination. And what I want to share with you is stick at it. Stick at it. Like this one is Auntie Cecilia teach me one. She says in life you need to be like a kachua. 对吗？生活要像 kachua 一样. You know what kachua is? Cockroach. This one her grandson, that's why she know cockroach. Yeah, yeah. Okay. In life, you got to be like a cockroach. Nothing's going to let you get you down. No matter how they hit you, you're just going to keep going. Yeah, but don't spread germs. All right. Yeah, it's the will to live that the cockroach has to just carry on. You want that. You need to have that grit to carry on. There's no point every 2 years you study this. Oh, I change. I want to do something. Every 2 years I change my job. Every 6 months I find something else to do. You've got to get the grit in order to see the success. I mean, imagine this. Okay, let's say I was cooking a dish. Okay, let's say I was cooking Hokkien mee. Okay, yeah, like I run a Michelin Bib Gourmand, so I'm frying Hokkien mee. Then after I fry 1 year already, I said, hey, damn sian leh. Every day I fry Hokkien mee. I better change lah. Then I want to add char kway teow to what I do. Then after that, I also want to add oloak to what I do. Then maybe I also add, since got prawn, got sotong, I also cook hae mee also. I also cook Hokkien mee. I never eat from a stall where they cook like 4 or 5 different things because it's just not the same. I want to eat at a stall where there's an expert cooking. Again, you want to eat Hokkien mee, you want to know the best Hokkien mee in Singapore, come and talk to me, all right? I'll share with you the secret as well. Stick at it, don't switch to different things, all right? That's great. Head down, finish it. Yeah. The takeaway of this story is not to do more. So often we can read the parable of the talents and conclude really what the master is telling his servants is you need to do more and you need to be more successful. Actually, that's not quite correct, right? Next. Yeah. I just want to clear up a misunderstanding of who God is not. Yeah. There's a soapbar clearing up misunderstanding. The last servant said that, Master, I knew that you are a hard man, harvesting where you have not sown and gatherings where you have not scattered seeds. He says God is a hard man, the master is a harsh person. That's furthest from the truth because in this story, it was the master who gave out all the gifts, the talents. The talents belong to the master, and the master chose to give it up to them. Yeah, next man. Yeah. Never mind, we skip this first. Yeah. Uh, okay, sorry, you just got to go back to the passage. Yeah. And sorry, one more. And when the master spoke to the first two servants, he actually said, come and share your master's happiness. He empowered his servants and he wanted his servants to share in his happiness. When God gives us these talents, God wants us to be able to use them and he is pleased when we use them, right? That is the heartbeat of God. The heartbeat of God is really to empower his people and to get a perspective of how he sees things. Okay, so next up, just skip this here. Yeah. You know, come and share, come and share your master's happiness. When we work for a boss, if we are employees, usually from January to November, we work very hard. December, we work extra hard, correct? December, we work extra hard because December is the time they declare bonus. And come January or December, when you open the bonus letter, sometimes we feel like, hey, I worked so hard, only give me half month more bonus only. Why did I bother working so hard? Sometimes we feel that we work for bosses who appreciate us and they give us a larger bonus. I want to assure you that with God, the bonus for those guys who right, had the 5 talents and worked and worked and understood his heart, he allowed them to keep everything. He invited them into a place to share in his happiness. It wasn't a place where he said, I'm going to take back things from you. Yeah. And this is the God that we serve. This is the master who loves us so much. Yeah. Next. So he's not a hard taskmaster, but an empowering and loving father who rejoices in our successes and comforts us in our times of weakness. The the takeaway that you can have from this parable is that God is very success driven. He liked the first servant because the first servant produced good results, and the second servant produced good results, and he totally rewarded them for that. The third servant didn't produce results, and so he was upset with the third servant. Actually, the third servant didn't know his heart. Whereas the first two servants, through the long journey of putting the talents into play, exercising those talents, began to see a glimpse of the Father's heart. What does it mean? Okay. When I was younger, before I became a parent, I actually resented my parents quite a lot. I didn't understand why is it I had curfew. Why is it every after I finished school, I used to finish school at about 6 plus. I wanted to go out with my friends, but my parents didn't let me go out with my friends. My mother in particular insisted, the one who didn't buy me the Gucci belt, insisted that I come home, and study. Like, oh, already whole day in school, already study CC, already come back and study. But that was like my routine for many years. And I resented it. I resented it that my mother always insisted that I do my homework. I resented it that my mother actually, uh, she made me check my work during the exam a few times. And it was through positive reinforcements, all right? Because when she reviewed my exam paper and she find careless mistakes, she'll remind me next time, check your work. But maybe the tone was not so soft like that. Yeah. Okay. But that was the relationship I had with my mother, and I kind of not liked it. But when I became a parent, I finally understood what the heartbeat of a parent was. I understood why she wanted me to do well in school so that later on in life I could do well. And until you step into the shoes of the master, the servant will always be a servant. If he never used the talents which the master had given him for him to enter the master's business, he would never understand things from the master's perspective. So much of the talents that God gives us is not for us to just do for the sake of doing, which we can be very good at doing. And you just keep doing and you just keep doing. But the sake of doing it and exercising it is to know what the master's heart is. If you participate in the Father's business, you begin to see what the Father's heart is. And the true story, the true meaning to the parable of the talent is really an invitation into the Father's heart. As you exercise your talent, as you cook, you realize that God is a provider in cooking. You find the joy when people come and appreciate the food that is prepared. And you like that. And then we can appreciate who God is because God provides for us. And it's a heart of gratefulness that's created. And this applies in so many aspects, right? So the parable of the talent is not about doing. The parable of the talent is truly an invitation to see the Father's heart. And if you're looking for the next one, yeah. Yeah, I think we can. Yeah. Sorry, back one. Our heart matters more to God. Um, I, I close with this story. The Bible has a story about. It's known as the prodigal son. Anybody heard of this story called the prodigal son? My friend Darren is laughing at me because he's walked with me through so much of life. I've been lost most of my life. On some days, I'm still lost, right? Um, every anniversary, I invite my old friends who know me from a long time ago to attend this anniversary. And I'm so blessed that they come. I invite them because they knew me from a time when I was very lost to a time now where I am not so lost and sometimes quite lost, right? So the Bible has this story about the prodigal son. That's what the title is called, the prodigal son. There was a man had two sons. The younger son went to the father and said, Father, give me my inheritance. Give me my inheritance. And the father looked at him, give me my inheritance. Okay, I'll give you half of whatever I own. And the younger son took this and he lived his life, he lived a life of wild living. He spent all his money away. And you know the story. After that, when he lost all his money, he actually ended up feeding pigs, right? And a Jewish person would never want to find a job feeding pigs. As he was feeding pigs, he started to think to himself, even my father's servants have better food than this. So he decided that, I'm going to go back to my father and I'm going to say sorry to my father. And then I will ask him to accept me as one of his servants. So he prepared a speech. He made his way back. His father saw him from a long way away. And when the son came back, was a distance away, the father, an old man, ran to him. He ran to him and he put on a cloak over him. He gave him sandals and he put on a ring. He recognized this lost son as his son, as if the son had come back from the dead. And in this story, it tells us that he killed a fattened calf, a really fat calf, to celebrate his son's return. He had a big barbecue, I guess, for the son. So at this big barbecue, the older son, who had been working for the father, didn't show up at this meeting at all. He didn't want to attend the party. We know this, right? And the father had to go and talk to him and says, come and rejoice with me, for your brother has come back. But his response was, look, this guy went off and squandered your money. I have been slaving hard, toiling hard for you, but you didn't even hold any kind of party for me, right? Didn't buy me a Gucci belt also, right? Why do you want me to go celebrate with you? And the father says, look, whatever I have is yours. Come and celebrate with me that your brother is back. On this journey, on this road, very often, no, we all start our journey as the lost son, the first younger son, a son that is just living in a wild living. And finally, when we come to our senses, we turn around. And at Talent Beacon, our mission, Brent, so you just go to the last one. At Talent Beacon, our mission is really to be a beacon of God's light. We desire to look for I won't say the lost people, I'll just say that the people who are more lost than us, right? To point them to God's light. This is the direction that we want to go into. So we work hard, we continue in this journey. But there are people, as they come, like the younger brother, we find that God welcomes them into our family and that God loves them and God blesses them and God sows a lot of things into their lives. And we find that why are we not the one, right? For instance, you could be, Zoe could have been leading worship just now, right? But she was doing the dance item first. And Zoe could be like, look, I think I jump higher than Lisha. How come Lisha came to Talent Beacon later than me, right? And then Lisha gets to lead worship like that. And there's so many things that we can have that creates this unhealthy older brother syndrome. And it's not just jealousy over another person. No. It's just being unhappy doing what we do because we don't understand the Father's heart. For those of us who have been in ministry, who have been serving people for a long time, it's a good point to check ourselves. What is the reason that we serve God? What is the reason that we go on this journey? Is it to get man's acclaim? Is it to be glorified by people? Is it for other people to shake our hands and say, well done? Or is it truly to please the Father? And as we please the Father, we see more of his heart and he sows more of his gifts into us. Okay. It's a reminder for all of us at Talent Beacon as we look forward to the road ahead. Let us not become the older brother. Let us not be the brother who is at home, walking with God, right? Walking with the Father, but not knowing the Father's heart at all. That is an entire guy's story about doing, but don't know why he was doing it. walk this journey knowing that the Father invites us to see things from His perspective. Right? This is the invitation. And the next one, I think, is a picture, right, of us. Yeah. So welcome home. This is taken at our church camp, and we are going to camp next year in June. If you would like to join us, once we fix the dates, I'll let you know. All are welcome, right, to join us on this journey. Uh, we meet on Saturdays, every Saturdays in different homes. If you're just interested to know which homes we meet at and so on, uh, actually you can stop almost everybody here and just ask, right? Look for a handsome face or a beautiful face and ask, hey, can I join your home fellowship, right? And they'll let you know more details, right? In the first picture that Brian's video, he had showed you the different home fellowships that we have. Welcome home. Welcome to the Father's heart. For I finished my sharing and I will just end here. Record time, okay? Yeah. Um, I just want to thank you really for your friendship on this journey. Uh, it's been 9 years of God's grace. It's been 9 years of seeing your children, some of your children grow up. Some of the kids I haven't seen in a while, don't even recognize. It's been 9 years of God's grace. So thank you for this journey. I'm going to invite the worship team to lead us in one closing song before we close for this evening. But before we sing this worship song, just want to invite you to ask God to show you a bit more of His heart. If there is a place that you feel drawn to serve, if there is something that God has drawn you to do, then ask Him to confirm that. Ask Him to give you the plans for that. Um, He will speak to you. And I pray that out of this, more and more branches of God's business will be set up, and we will see His kingdom be glorified.